GCP identity and access management. Yeah. So identity and access management, which specifies access control for Google Cloud resources. For example, like who is the user, what role he wanted, and on which resource he wanted the app permission. So this control we will do it in the IAM and access management service in GCP. Okay. So when I say identity, the identity may be a Google account or a service account or Google group or domain. And when I say about role, whether it is a owner role, viewer, editor, or compute engine role or storage account role, so such roles. And then resource, on which resource you want to permit this access. Yeah, either you want to permit on the project level or on the resource level or on the organization level. So you can define the permissions based on your requirements, and this is how it works. Okay, so for example, when I compare your IAM here, for example, if I give owner permission in the organization level, and the entire folder level, project style, resource level, everywhere the same user will have the owner or whatever the permission you define. Okay, so for example, if you define in the project level, if you define owner, but in the organization level, if you define owner, sorry, if you define a read only, then the read only will inherit. It will take precedence over the role which you defined on the project level. Okay, so this is similar. In our on-prem, we have group policy precedence, right? Site LSDO. Local site. What is it? Okay, OU domain, site, and local. So the OU will take most precedence. So similarly here on the organization level, which we define, that will take a precedence over the other roles which you defined in the lower level. Okay. So here, when we talk about Google Cloud with the Citrix virtual apps and desktop, the task which we needed in the IAM section is we need to define the service account, and we need to provide these permissions, and then we need to there is a cloud build service account which is created by default when you create a Google project or subscription in Azure terms. Okay, that should have these permissions. Okay, so we'll have a demo how to create service account and assign permissions. So let's head over to the Google Cloud. So you can go to Google Cloud using this URL. Okay, console.cloud.google.com. And by default, those who are wanted to try Google Cloud, it is free for 3 months, I believe, and they will give you some $200 credit. So you can test all your stuffs there. Okay, so I have two projects, one VDA projects and one my first project. So what we will do, we will create a brand new project. Okay, so I will name it as GCP VDI demo. Okay, I will create it here. So it will take some time to create the project. This is nothing but you are creating your Azure subscription, right? So similar way. So this is how it looks like, and here you will have a project number and project ID and the project name. So these are important. So like in some places you need to enter these details. So that you will get it in this page. If you go to dashboard, you will see here. Okay. So now we have a GCP VDA demo project. So first thing what you have to do is, as I told you, our first requirement prerequisite is to enable the APIs, as I told. So we need to enable Compute Engine API. So let's go to the project and type here Compute Engine. Okay, so we need to go to the Compute Engine API, and we need to enable this. And then what we need to enable Cloud Resource Manager API.
So every project I have to enable these four options, correct?
Yes, yes, exactly. Yes.
Got it. Thanks.
So you can also come here and enable the APIs, or directly you can search it here and you can enable the APIs. Yeah. So we have enabled the API now. So you can see here, right, the APIs. So this is the dashboard. So here you can go and you can search for the APIs which is required, and then you can enable it. Okay, so now we have enabled all the APIs which is required for our GCP and CVAD. Now we will see related to the service accounts. Okay, so we need to create a service account and we need to assign these permissions, and then we need to assign permission to the inbuilt service account as well, that is cloud build service account. Okay, so it looks like your project ID at the rate cloud build dot gservice account.com. Okay, in this name it will show. So let's go to the cloud, and let's go to the IAM, that is identity and access management, and then you need to select service account. Okay, so here you need to create service account type. I'll type as VDA admin. Okay, so then create. Okay, so you can define the role here, or you can define the role in the final page also. So I'll just click it as done. So now I did not define any roles for this. Okay, so now what you have to do is just go inside it. Okay, copy the name. Now you have created the service account. The role which we required, you did not define it. Okay, so these are all the roles required: computer admin, storage admin, cloud build editor, and service account user. So what you have to do, you go to the IAM tab in the top. Okay, so here you click on add, give the name, that is your service account name, and the role computer admin. I'll type as computer admin. I'll add one more role or two more, and I need to add three more roles. Storage admin, and then I need to cloud build editor as well. Service account user. Okay, though these roles required for the service account. Okay, so once you create the service account roles, and then you can see, as I told you, right, you'll see some user called cloudbuild.gserviceaccount.com, isn't it? So this is the cloud build service account, the inbuilt cloud build service account. It doesn't have any roles now. You can see, right? So it just having cloud build service account. That's it. So we need to define the roles for this as well. Okay, so I'm going to add the role to this. So what are the roles we required? We required cloud build service account. Then we require compute instance admin. Yeah. Okay, now we have defined the roles. The role part is completed. Okay, so now the very important part is when you integrate your CVAD service with the with the Google Cloud. We need to define some keys to connect. For example, in your on-prem, when you integrate, when you do the hosting connection, that time you will enter your service account and password, right? In Google, when you integrate with the Google Cloud, you're not providing password. Okay, you need to generate a key file and you will provide that key file. Okay, so let's go to the service account to do that. So this is your service account, right? So click the service account and you need to go to keys. Okay, so now you don't see any key, right? So you need to click on add key, create key, select the type as JSON and create. Okay, so now save this key in a secure place. This is required when we do the hosting connection. Okay, just remember this part. Okay, we will come to this part later when you do the hosting. Okay, so just remember
which service account you selected?
the one we created, VD
Oh,
admin.
okay.
So select the service account, go to keys and then add key. Okay, so then download the key to your local computer or wherever the store, secure location and keep it. This is required when we do the hosting connection. Okay, this is like a password for your service account, you can say. So this is related to the permissions and IAM rules. What are the roles required? In if you want in detail, what are these things and what this will do, you can go to the Google documentation. They have a very good documentation. It will explain you what is computing admin and what are the things it can do. So it is like computing admin is nothing but when I say in Azure term, it is I think virtual machine contributor, I believe. Okay, so that role. Yeah. So this is how it